How do we make sure that artificial intelligence is friendly or beneficial or ethical? How do we make sure, in other words, that AI isn't doing harm to individual human beings or to the human race? This is often put under the heading of alignment. How do we align, put together our values, human values, and the values that AI will have? And it raises loads of really interesting philosophical and theological questions. In fact, the development of artificial intelligence over recent decades, what the specialists have been thinking about as they try and program their computers, is almost like a course in philosophical ethics. The first way to try to ensure good AI outcomes is to try and program in some good goals, like reducing poverty or making great cheesecake. It's the first thing that you would want to do. Here's an AI system, let's make sure it's doing some good things, and let's tell it some of the good things that it should be doing. In philosophical terms, this is a form of utilitarianism. Utilitarianism. You identify the goods, the good things, the goals, and then you try and maximize them. And if you do that, in theory, everyone is happy. But hang on. What if these goals, these good things, these values, what if they clash? Or what if there are unintended consequences from your AI? Norbert Wiener said back in 1960, decades ago, we had better be sure that the purpose we put into the machine is the purpose which we really desire. We had better be sure that the purpose we put into the machine is the purpose which we really desire. And more recently, Nick Bostrom introduced the famous idea of the paperclip maximizer. The paperclip maximizer. This is an imaginary AI machine that's programmed to produce as many paperclips as possible, but it goes on to destroy the human race in the pursuit of this goal, as it draws everything, the whole world, including all of our human bodies, into its quest just to make as many paperclips as possible. So, as well as giving AI some good goals, utilitarianism, you need to give it some wise rules, some laws, to resolve these conflicts and avoid any nasty unintended consequences. In the history of philosophy, this is called the deontological solution. The deontological solution. You have built into the system a set of laws that guide everything that's happening. The best known of these AI laws are the fictional laws that the novelist Isaac Asimov gave to his robots. In summary, first, a robot must not harm a human being. Second, a robot must obey human orders, unless that will cause harm to others. And third, a robot must protect its own existence, unless it clashes with the first two laws, unless it causes harm to others or harm to the individual human being. So many more sophisticated rules have since been proposed. You can imagine how complicated it gets. But here's the problem. You can't create laws for every imaginable situation. This is true in the legal world as well as in AI. There will still be unexpected conflicts and unintended consequences. So what do you do? You've got utilitarianism, deontology, good things, laws and rules. So instead, the next step, you try to create a set of virtues that will guide the implementation of these laws. You're trying to program into AI, in other words, a sense of justice, of equity, prudence, fortitude, wisdom, compassion, kindness, magnanimity, a little bit of common sense. And in the history of ethics, in philosophical language, this is the virtue ethic approach. The virtue ethic. You need good things, goals, laws, and you need virtues, but more than that, you need an inner attitude of wisdom and growing in virtue and thinking well about the world and how to act and the needs of other people. How do you program virtue into a computer, into an AI system? It's really difficult. And it's what's really taking the time and energy of thought of so many AI philosophers and AI programmers. It's one of the big questions today. But even then, there are risks, because virtues are not neutral. Who chooses which virtues get programmed in? Who chooses how to prioritize them? Maybe this is the next step, and in fact it's as far as we've got today. Maybe you don't just program in virtues because you're worried about who gets to choose, who has the power. Maybe you can develop an AI system that is not pre-programmed at all. This system would learn its goals and its laws and even its virtues by observing and emulating, copying, mimicking the behaviour of the human beings around it. So it's trying to be good, following the goodness of the human beings that it sees. There are risks in that, of course, because you might not have good human beings around. But in fact, this is how humans learn and grow in virtue and wisdom, isn't it? We learn from other people. We grow up in communities. We're taught by teachers. We're brought up by parents with all their weaknesses. Human beings learn ethics from good examples and good practice, and not just from good goals or good rules. Maybe this will work. It's one of the key areas of AI research today. The overarching question here is whether AI will one day be able to engage in genuine moral deliberation. Will it be able to work out what is truly good in a given situation? Will this require a conscience? The big question. Can AI have a conscience? Will AI need a conscience? This raises lots of bigger questions about mind and consciousness and the soul, and I'm going to speak about those in other videos. But if AI does develop a conscience, will it then be morally responsible for the choices that it makes? And, next question, if AI has a conscience and it's morally responsible, will it be able to go against its conscience and commit sin? Well, these are amazing, fascinating questions, too big to answer now, but at least it's got us thinking about this really challenging problem and question about alignment. How to create friendly, beneficial, ethical AI. Is it possible? Where will it take us?